Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up, man. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling.
A rapper denies any involvement in the murder of a jeweler in Houston, Texas, after he saw the man shortly before he was killed.
Girl, the streets are talking, the internet is on fire, and Houston is shaking because Boosie Badazz just dropped a bomb, and it's got the whole mob ties empire looking real shady. For months, Boosie was quiet while everyone blamed him for setting up Duke the Jeweler's murder. But now, he's naming names, and baby, he's pointing fingers right at J. Prince Jr. And y'all, the timing, the silence, the power plays, it's giving cover up, not coincidence. So, let's get into the tea, because this ain't just another street story. This might be the unraveling of a dynasty. Back in November 2022, 29-year-old Duke the Jeweler, the Chicago king of custom ice, showed up at Boosie's concert in Houston. Hours later, he was shot and killed in a parking lot. The official word? Robbery. But everyone who's really been watching knows that was no random hit. And Boosie? People swore he set it up. Twitter fingers flew. Rumors said the guys who ambushed Duke were Boosie's own people, family. But now, Boosie's done playing the silent scapegoat. He's speaking, and he's calling it for what it is, a full-on setup. Boosie says he barely knew Duke. They met at a dice game the night before. The next day, Duke rolled solo to his show, chilled, had fun, left peacefully, and then, boom, dead in the parking lot, no backup, no protection, no justice. But here's what's sending chills down people's spines. It didn't happen in Boosie's hometown. It didn't go down in Baton Rouge. This was in Houston. And baby, if you know anything about Houston rap, then you know one name runs that town, J. Prince Jr. While Boosie took the heat, the real puppet master stayed in the shadows. But now, the mask is slipping, because all roads keep leading back to one place, and one dice game. The same rigged game where Duke reportedly cleaned house, stacking over $100,000 in wins. And let's just say, some people really didn't like that. According to multiple insiders, Duke wasn't supposed to win. That table, that setup, it was allegedly loaded. Literally, like, the dice weren't just hot, they were tampered. And when Duke messed with the money, that's when the sharks started circling. Enter Whack 100. Now look, say what you want about Whack, but one thing he don't do is whisper. He came out swinging, saying straight up, this wasn't a robbery, it was a hit. And not just any hit. A hit planned by J. Prince Jr.'s own circle. Whack even dropped names. Lil Cam, Wolf, Big Caprice, a trio with ties to mob ties. He claimed Duke got caught in their rigged game, started winning when he wasn't supposed to, and that's what sealed his fate. Not the bag, not the chain, not the watch. It was the audacity to beat them at their own game. And y'all, it gets darker. Because apparently this ain't just about one dice game. This is about a system, a whole check-in culture that J. Prince Jr. allegedly built in Houston. Rappers, influencers, celebrities. If you came to H-Town and didn't check in, you were fair game. But what happens when you do check in and still end up dead? That's the part that's got the streets heated. Because Duke checked in, Takeoff checked in, PNB Rock allegedly checked in. And what did they all have in common? They still ended up lined up. Charleston White, loud, raw, and unapologetic, chimed in too. And he didn't just call out mob ties, he called out the whole game. Said the check-in culture ain't protection. It's extortion. He said these so-called street legends aren't protectors. They're predators, playing God in cities they claim to run, luring artists in with fake promises of safety, then turning the same protection into pressure. He said Duke walked into that game thinking he was with friends, but really he walked into a lion's den. And the worst part, he never saw it coming. And Boosie? He's done holding back. He said Duke's death had nothing to do with him. He didn't invite Duke. He barely knew him. And the rumors about Duke's Louis Vuitton bag being found at his house? Boosie said that's cap, all of it. He's calling out J. Prince Jr. directly, saying they tried to line him up, make him the fall guy. Why? Because Boosie was the easiest target. He had a record, a past. He'd already been tied to legal cases, gun charges, even murder trials. All they needed was a believable story. And baby, the internet was more than ready to believe it. But now, people are waking up. Even Houston locals are saying Boosie ain't had nothing to do with it. One fan posted, "If you from Houston, You know Boosie ain't behind that. That's not even his city. Another one said it straight. Why would Boosie line up a robbery in someone else's territory? That's dumb. This screams J. Prince Jr. And just when things couldn't get messier, Finesse 2 times got thrown in the mix. Girl, the streets are buzzing that J. Prince Jr. allegedly got Finesse's girl pregnant behind his back. The same girl who used to work around mob ties. Now Finesse, who used to praise J. Prince Jr., won't even say his name. The silence is loud, and fans are noticing. Loyalty, gone. Vibes, office respect, cracked. And J. Prince Sr.? Oh honey, he's not taking this lying down. He's clapping back at everyone, from Boosie to Whack 100, calling them clowns, trying to flip the narrative. But the more he talks, the more suspicious it all looks. Because let's not forget, Takeoff was killed in the same city, under the same protection, shot in the head and torso multiple times. That don't sound like an accident. That sounds intentional. Even 50 Cent is side-eyeing all this. He's been reposting cryptic clips, dropping shady captions, low-key backing Boosie without saying too much. And when 50 starts acting quiet and calculated, you know something's up. But here's the real heartbreak, y'all. Duke the Jeweler wasn't just another dude in a flashy chain. He was self-made, a Chicago legend. He didn't need clout. He had craft. From sketching pieces in a back room to designing for Rihanna, 50 Cent, King Von, and yes, even Boosie. His work wasn't just luxury, it was legacy. And that legacy got cut short the second he trusted the wrong crowd. Duke wasn't stupid, but he was too trusting. He believed the hype, believed that checking in meant safety. Instead, it meant walking into a trap. He left that dice game with a win, and never made it home. He was shot multiple times, not once, not twice, but over and over like somebody wanted to make a statement. His jewelry, gone. His cash, gone. His phone, gone. It wasn't just a hit, it was a message. Boosie says he saw the aftermath, and if you've seen the footage, the man looked broken, shaken, like he really didn't see it coming, and maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just a pawn in a much bigger game. But now the silence is breaking. The whispers are becoming roars. J. Prince Jr.'s name keeps popping up in every messy headline. The fallouts, the check-ins, the deaths, and people are done pretending they don't see it. One user posted, J. Prince has set up so many people it's disgusting. Another wrote, this man's empire was built on fear, silence, and manipulation. And now it's finally cracking. Because this ain't just about Boosie, or Duke, or even Takeoff. This is about a system, one that's been operating in plain sight for years. A system that promises protection but delivers power plays, backdoor deals, and silence through fear. And the people? They're done staying silent. Duke's death left a hole in the culture. It didn't just shake the jewelry world, it cracked the industry's mask. The one that hides the fact that some of the biggest names are playing the dirtiest games. Boosie says he was the bait. Finesse backed out, Takeoff checked in, and died anyway. And now the walls are closing in. So here's the real question. If the empire's finally falling, who's next to speak up? Or worse, who's next to disappear?